Deputy Minister Yair Golan, thank you for joining us on I-24 News. You've probably been the most outspoken member of the government against extremist elements in the settler community. You even called them subhuman at one point. You apologized for that remark, but you did tweet in response to the events in Burin. Okay, so not subhuman, so what do you call them? That's my question to you then. What do you call what happened? How do you describe what happened there near Burin?
Well, villain criminals or brutal criminals or whatever you want, as long as it's still describes the very basic truth that these people behave in an unacceptable way, destroying property, hitting, innocent people. And from my perspective, as a Jew, as a Zionist, this is totally unacceptable.
Now, of course, you have extensive military experience, including even trying to keep the peace there in the West Bank, Judea and Samaria. Is there more the army should be doing, could be doing to just police the situation there?
The answer is yes, for sure. And I can tell you I have a lot of experience with it. I think the military was much more proactive until 2009. And since Benjamin Netanyahu government, the situation concerning the way the IDF implemented his responsibility, well, I see a clear deterioration in the situation.
Mr. Golan, Benjamin Netanyahu is no longer the prime minister. You are, in fact, part of the current government. So how do you respond to how not only it's handling that situation, but the fact some of your fellow members of the government accuse you of exacerbating the situation with rhetoric that they say generalizes about the settler community?
Well, Yair Golan is not the problem. I might be the solution, but not the problem. The problem is these, brutal people who hit innocent people, other innocent people, and these who like to inflame the situation in order to create unacceptable situation from my perspective, and this is the annexation, a total annexation of Judea, Samaria, and the Gaza Strip.
Right, and what do you see as the consequences, besides, of course, seeing these scenes of violence? Do you see larger consequences for Israel in the international arena, or even in terms of the security situation domestically?
Well, in the short run, no major change. In the long run, if Israel wants to be part of the civilized nation, we have no other choice but to separate ourselves from the Palestinians. The basic concept of the Oslo process, the basic concept of Prime Minister Sharon, who managed to disengage ourselves from the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and in northern Samaria. This is the path we should walk on, and this is the situation we need to achieve. Total separation between the Palestinians and Israel.
Well, clearly there are some members of the government that don't agree with you or don't agree with your interpretation of the events there in the West Bank. So my question to you, especially because we may be reaching a situation where Benjamin Netanyahu leaves politics, is your forecast for this government, this very divided, admittedly very divided government, certainly on some issues of which you're a part of?
Well, yes, this is true. We have, tough discussions concerning the issue of the West Bank or Judea and Samaria. But this government is quite solid, much stable than you can understand by the media, all elements in this government do understand that there is no other reasonable option. So yes, we argue bitterly, but there is no other option, and I'm glad to be part of this government, and I think this government is a kind of a salvation government for Israel.